Hello, everybody, and welcome to our last and final talk on the intro series to self-care and using self-care to pursue health. Now, we are on the hardest topic to explain. This has a lot to do with the feeling of growth and the feeling of becoming unstuck. In our previous video, we talked about being stuck in the middle, and the video before that, we talked about the three elements of self-care: mental, physical, and emotional health. And now we're on to the feeling of it all. Now, because it's a feeling, I'm going to try to use words to explain what it is, but always keep in mind that a feeling is an experience, and me talking about it is just kind of painting a little bit of the background of what it should feel like or what it should look like. Now, I want to talk about the interconnection of the mental, physical, and emotional realms of health all working together just quickly. Now, for example, let's take an everyday scenario. So you're at the mall, pre-COVID, I guess. You're at the mall, and there's a lot of parking spots at the back of the parking lot, and there's very few at the front. Why is it that we continually search for the one that's closest um, to the door? Is it because, and this happens on warm days and cold days alike, is it because we don't have the physical fitness to walk from the back of the parking lot to the front door? It's not, right? This would seem like a lack of motivation, but it's not. It is something more seated in the middle, right? Is that a mental, emotional, or physical thing? Well, we know it's not physical. We just said, is it a mental thing? It might be because we're choosing not to walk from the back to the front. That impacts our fitness. So it might be that. Well, is it emotional? Hmm, that also might be true. We might be feeling um, like we need to rush or we're overstressed. And this is more truthful. And in fact, it's both a mental and emotional thing. So, and that impacts the physical thing. And knowing this is very important because it allows you to see things more correctly. The more we could identify things as what they are, at least it gives you a solid base to kind of move off of. Now, the feeling of growth is kind of like that. It's kind of like new information. Wow, I never saw that this was an issue before. And then we have a new way of thinking about that issue. Well, this is how I overcome it by doing these things. Now, that's kind of the mental processing part. That's the easier part. The harder part is now doing the actions. How are you going to take that thinking and move it into actions? And this is generally where it gets really complicated. This is kind of like having the idea to fly and then all the hard work it took to make an airplane. The idea comes quickly. The physical working out in real life is a lot more hard work. It takes a lot more dedication. It takes a lot more learning, letting go of old things to think of new things, to move forward. And this is generally what it is. So you can imagine that nature does not like things that stay stuck, so it puts pressure on it to move. Your body feels pressure in the sense of discomfort, physical, stress, mental, and let's say frustration, emotional outbursts of styles of energy, either sadness, happiness, anger, any one of those things, right? Those are just how your body is trying to communicate with you that it's under some kind of pressure to change. Now, what we normally do is either ignore it, do something else to offset it. We don't normally address this. And this is what self care is really great at. If there's something causing you stress, let's look at it, let's find out what it is so that we can come up with a quicker solution and therefore work on building the skills to overcome it. Right? That's kind of the simple, short, and sweet of how you do it. However, there's a lot more steps. So, for example, if I'm afraid of exercise, how do I exercise? The fear itself is more of an emotional thing. We have to find out why is that emotionally challenging, and then once we do that, we come up with a mental strategy of how we're going to overcome it. And then we go into the physical of doing the thing. The doing the thing always has to happen. All three elements always have to happen. and that's a way of bringing change into reality. You are the one acting on what you've learned, and therefore it becomes a solid thing to yourself, and therefore you can move forward by knowing those things. And generally, styles of sickness and discomfort are based on, let's say, lack of letting go of things to learn new things. So I'm trying to give you a framework of how that kind of plays out, but nothing is the same as how it feels. We do know, though, that if you can create an environment around yourself that supports you, let's go for the example of, let's say, a birthday. So it's been a year, it's finally your birthday again. You call up all your friends, and you guys are hanging out, having cake, drinking orange juice, and celebrating with your favorite snacks and your favorite people. And this environment is charged with supportive energy, let's call it. Everybody's there for you, everybody's looking out for you, everybody's celebrating you, and you feel on top of the world. You feel great. You feel like you can conquer anything. And this is kind of a quick example of how changing the environment to support you really makes a huge change to the person. Another example of changing the environment to support you, again, is having an off day and you receive a card from a dear friend, and it's saying, I wish you the best, I hope you get better, and, can't wait to see you again. Hopefully we can hang out this day. Even if you're feeling in pain, discomfort, that boosts your spirit enough to feel good for that moment at least. And that again is a smaller version of changing the environment to support you. Now, the idea of self-care is to change the environment to support you. The environments that we're talking about are the mental, physical, and emotional environments that surround you. And to impact that, we will see a change of lifestyle. Things that were more negative will become more positive. Things that you might not have done physically, you start doing more physically. Things that you might have made excuses for not doing, you take on immediately. And this is all because finally there's something there supporting you in a challenging area. There's no more need for a compensation to kind of bypass the challenge because you got the right support. This is truly what health is. Health is creating a person or helping the person feel more whole. And when you create that, lots of things changes. Things that doesn't make a lot of sense start to make more sense. Things become more clear. You become more happy. You become more joyful. You become more positive. You start doing the things that you actually want to do. You stop making excuses for not doing them. You start seeing ways to be more creative, more interactive. You start engaging in life instead of kind of passively watching it go by. So this is all part of how it feels. And the best way is to kind of act on it. Find something that you enjoy doing, start doing it. From there, question, reflect, and you'll see more options to incorporate this fun thing. We know that if you can have a really lucky day, really fun day, a birthday-like celebration, it's in you. So now we just have to figure out how to make it stable and continuous, and that is something that self-care does. So this is kind of my way of explaining all those things to you. Feel free again to leave your comments, concerns below, and you could always contact me at info@designfitness.ca, and I'll be happy to assist and help you guys. Hopefully that all made sense. Feel free to watch all the videos again and again. Each time you listen to it, you'll get more out of it. Each time you learn a little bit more about yourself, you'll get more out of what I'm saying. So always do so, and have a great day.